Hello! Sorry, I just ran to get some water. How's everyone doing? Baron, thank you so much for the tier 1. Appreciate it. Hello, hello. Man, oh man. Got another headache. My hands are dry today. It's one of those days. It's a Tuesday, I suppose. It truly is just one of those days. I still have to post a Discord. Give me one sec, guys. I just ran to get some water really quick. But thanks for being here. The Stratum looks funky. Yeah, it looks like a manta right now, right? It does look like a manta right now. Alright. There we go. Post it to Discord. So glad for this stream. I'm halfway through a 12-hour shift. God damn. Oraj, thank you very much for the Prime. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. AMD, thank you very much for 19 months. I don't know if it's a boneyard stream today. I was going through my keycaps before the stream started because I was like, let me just pre-select one now
19
so we don't argue.
Holy
you know?
Sigma. Is it a GMK boneyard stream today?
But yeah, I don't know. I just
Stratum would look sick with it.
I don't know. I think we're just gonna vibe with it because we did get most of the tops here, so we can kind of play around with what color we want to go with. Gotta watch while at work. Sorry, I can't lock into the stream. You are all good, dude. Today's a Nautilus stream. Trust? Oh, wow, Nautilus. If we're not gonna argue, then why are we here? True, to be honest. I love spirited debates. Don't we all? Frostwitch? Oh, I don't know about Frostwitch today. I wish I had money for this board. It is nice. We're gonna go through it. You know, obviously there is. Ooh, 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay. Looks like today's stream is gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be a normal stream in terms of like length. I hope might be a bit quicker just because today is hot swap, and I think the purpose of the build today is to show how easy it is how to mod. But just so everyone's aware, this is, thank you Burn, appreciate the subs, dude. This is technically a sponsored stream. I don't know if sponsored the right word for it. It's a showcase. Listen, I'm still gonna do my best to review things and look at things and give you guys some like critique on things I think could be better, or maybe there's nothing at all, who knows. But I do work for Novel Keys, who's vendoring this product as well. So take everything as a grain of salt, or with a grain of salt rather. You don't have to trust me here. Just we're gonna take a look at the board. It's gonna be a showcase. Do what you guys want. Thank you, Cohen, and thank you again, Burn. Appreciate it. We still have the subathon running. That'll run all week though. But yeah, my head's still hurting. I don't know what's going on lately. I think it's the. I hate saying this because I feel like Unk saying this, but like, dude, I honestly feel like because we've had positive 15 one day, negative 10 the night of, positive 11, negative 8, and I think today is going up to 0. Like, it's starting to, like, I think it's giving me headaches and stuff. I don't know. Also, the sun we've had, like, we've had 1 day of sun, I feel like, in the last few days. Hi, Hank, how you doing? After 27 is Unk, according to my friends. Oh. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Absolutely, this is the worst fucking time for sinus and allergies. I think that's what it is, though. Because you know what? That's a good point. I've been waking up with, like, really congested nose. And I think that's also been not helping with sleep. Dude, I scared myself this morning. So I have this weird, since I was a kid, this weird habit of I sleep on my arm, but I put my arm in a position where it feels like I'm dislocating it. Some days it's worse than others. And today I put my arm in that position, and I woke up around 5 o'clock, and I just felt my arm was just like, you know, like pins and needles, like asleep. And dude, I had to like get up and like let my arm regenerate its blood back in its arm. You know, like it's just weird. Can confirm dislocating shoulder is not fun. I've dislocated it like 3 times. Bro, so I had that brain surgery, right? It went through the nose, and I was so effing congested for 8 weeks. I can't blow my nose either. This is the absolute worst. 8 weeks? Oh, when can you blow your nose? What? Would you have any keyboard suggestions for 100%? I mean, there's the Intro 100 still on Click Clack. I noticed it this morning. If you want something a bit more premium, I think that's a good one.
Tanasium gifted a tier 1 sub to
Thank you,
Conquer.
Tan. Appreciate you. I'm not going to open up any more GMK sets because I don't have any more to open today. So no, we won't be rigging anything. Thank you for your concern. I didn't hear the end of it last night. Do you have any suggestions for mice? Ooh, are you looking for a gaming mouse? My favorite shape to this day, I'm still going to go with, I really like the Endgame gear. Now, I do prefer the Endgame gear wired. I think the slight edge you get from having it be a little bit lighter wins it out. I also tend to not care about wireless mice these days, like for my own setup. However, I have a shit ton of them. My favorite mouse past the Endgame gear, though, the Pulsar Crazy Light. I think that's like close second. I also like the Sora V2. I'm still on the Sora. I've been trying a bunch of different brands of the WL mice, and they've been great. So those I'd say like they're all kind of depends if you like it type thing. But yeah, I would definitely say the Endgame gear is still one of my faves. I still have yet to try the new Logitech mouse, the one that has the new sensor on it, but don't do the Beast X Max dirty. It's so neat. It isn't, dude. I like the WL mouse stuff. It's nice. Is that Beast X Max? That's from WL mouse, right? The Chosen, thank you very much for the Prime. I appreciate it, man. The OP one, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with mice. I have a bunch. I'm writing not an article, but I'm writing like a personal ranking list because it's kind of been like my fun side project just to go through a bunch of mice right now. So it's been enjoyable. It's an experience, I'll tell you that much, but it's been enjoyable. Another mouse, if you want something actually pretty interesting that I feel like doesn't get a lot of attention, the Terra Pro. The shape on that mouse, very, very fun. Very classic feeling, I should say. Not so much fun, very classic feeling. I don't know why that's not like up in my top 3. It should honestly be in my top 3 because I did really enjoy using that one. Maybe I just need some more time with it, but I didn't really enjoy the Terra as well. The G502 is really good. I still have mine somewhere as well. But all right, we're gonna go through it today. Today we're building. Let's see where Eric's built different keycaps. I'm gonna be doing a shit ton. There's a lot of stuff I'm gonna be doing this year. I think I just have to get through the next like 2 weeks because the next 2 weeks are really busy, and then I'm gonna slow it down a little bit with video content because I kind of want to do more articles. I've been really enjoying those. But today we are doing the Stratum. I also don't have the OG, like I shouldn't say OG, like the proper boxes for the Stratum. All my stuff came in classic throwback kind of styrofoam. But we are doing the Stratum. Again, I do work for one of the vendors. So I'm not going to be biased, but please be aware that that's a thing. And if that makes you feel uncomfortable with me looking at the board, then so be it. I'm going to call it more today a showcase more so than a review. So I'll be showing you guys the keyboard. I'll still be weighing in on it. But for those who don't care for the stream, your fair warning and disclosures, because I really believe in those. I'm also using a new Switch. I'm curious about these because I like the color of them. They're like a beautiful cream color of sorts. These are the LANIKAI switches. They're from HMX. They're Palm and PA66 and P2 bottoms. I think they're going to be fun. I like these. The factory lube on HMX stuff has been great. These are designed by XL Labs, I believe. And apparently they're a new mold. Another new mold. So we'll see. Or I don't know if it's still part of the same old molds, but we'll see. But yeah, fun. I think it's going to go well with this board too. So, just ordered those. Oh, did you? Dude, I have a few HMX switches that I want to get through. They're all so nice looking. Okay, so like I said, we're doing the Stratum today. The board starts at a fairly high price. It's going to start at $590, and I think the most expensive configuration you can get is $690. I don't think you can go any higher than that. I was checking it out earlier to make sure you can't go higher than that. But it starts at $590. So I'm expecting I'm expecting good things. I mean, for that price point, you know, I am expecting, I wouldn't say like perfection, because I feel like perfection is based off preferences. But what was that other really expensive board we did recently that I felt like fell a little bit short in some areas? I mean, here's a good example. You know how the Geist ATA that we did? The Nama was another great example. For this price point, for premium price points of about $600 for the base model, my expectations is everything just has to work. If it was like a very early production unit, or not production, but pre-production unit, like prototype, I'd be a little bit more lenient and be like, okay, well, these aren't working, but we know they can get fixed. I'm hoping these all work. I know it's still technically a prototype, so just keep that in mind as we go through here. But again, I am hoping for a good experience build-wise, so setting some expectations, a good experience build-wise. I'm hoping for good finishes. I'm hoping for a unique chassis that makes the keyboard stand out from other keyboards, which, by the way, is also very important at this price point. More than that, I'm looking for a labor of love. So I'm looking for something that I can tell the designer or designers put some thought into, and it's not just a really expensive keyboard for the sake of being very expensive. So let's take a look at it. Again, I don't have the proper boxes. I did read this is supposed to come with a nice little box or carrying case. I don't got those. Admittedly, I already looked at this board at the meetup. This board was already present at the meetup. This is how it looks. So this isn't like I'm not shocked and awe right now, because I did spend some time with this already. The unique feature of this board is going to be the gaskets, which we can show you guys right now because this has a magnetic enclosure. This is actually the thing I'm very excited about, are these gaskets. It is a nice color. I have to admit the colors they chose for this board are nice. I was even at the presentation for this board, which was really cool. So we have a pogo pin, stuff like that. We'll go through all the features there, but these are like the selling point. Now, I was a little concerned at first when I saw this at the meetup, to be completely transparent, because I was like, I don't know how these gaskets are gonna work. I don't know, like, turns out these little gaskets just sit on little points like this. So realistically, you can put extra mounting points underneath the spacebar and not have to worry about it, because you can just take them off. So I guess my worry there was kind of like a non-worry. But the cool thing about this, and I don't know if Mike sent me more. I think he did. I gotta go find where he put those, where I put those now. Everything in that box was like loose. They're gonna make this open source in a way where you can 3D print your own, which I think is super neat. And I think there's already gonna be about 3, well, there is gonna be about 3 that you can get on release. But I like the fact that these can be 3D printed. They did have a demo, and I got the demo thing, which we'll go through as well. They had a demo at the meetup showing off exactly the differences between the structure of these units. Dude, I must have allergies right now or something. But yeah, they showed off the structure of the units on this little, like, I have it here. I'll show you guys. Like I said, everything's kind of just wrapped. I probably should have went through it all. Where did I put that little plastic thing now? Did I leave it over there? 1 second, guys. Oh, right here. We'll assemble this later, because I actually don't know how to assemble this. But they had this to demo, like, how each gasket, like, it presses down, how each gasket works. It's actually pretty cool. And you know what? At the meetup, they had more. And they actually did do something different, which was kind of cool. But past that, let's look at the visual aesthetics of the board. Past, I think, its primary, like, feature. The board looks nice. Like, the board has a unique aesthetic. Here's a great way to put it. We talked about it last night. I think the board shares some DNA, in a way, with some of the more, like, I wouldn't say high-end, but some of the more, like, up-there designer boards, like Geist, and remember even, like, the Icebreaker. It has a bit more of, like, that industrial, almost minimal kind of feel. I would even argue to say this is a bit more elevated in some areas than even the Geist. The Geist offered some neat finishes, But I think what this offers, which we'll kind of show here, is this. I like the textured finish over here, this small ribbed finish. If you guys remember, we did a board from Artifact a while ago. A long time ago, actually. And it kind of had this same exact finish on it, which might get some dust in it, but you can just blow that out. I like it. I think it looks really good. It does give me Geist vibes for sure. And then we have, which you guys can kind of see, there's going to be like an LED that pops through over here. So it has a small diffuser, which might be easier to see right over here. We have our USB-C port. This is not hidden at all. It's pretty out there. So if you guys do have like a larger connector, you will probably see that. Let's zoom back out here. And then we have the bottom. Now I think this is the brass one. I think I also have an aluminum one, which will reconfigure to, oh God, my camera hates this. And then we have some longer feet, but like not super duper long, like not across the entire board. Here's the back of the board. And I think where this board actually makes me quite happy is the side profile. That side profile is kind of different. Again, I would say it's very, very minimal. And I think that's kind of where this board excels at in a way. Like it does simple very well. But I think also it is kind of like sliding off, yeah. The typing angle, I think it's on the stat sheet. One sec, let me just pull it up quick. Let me see if it's on the stats here. Specs. Typing angle is 4 degrees, which actually is pretty cool. Because if you guys remember, a long time ago when we built, I think the OG mode boards were 5 degree, and I really like the 5 degree. I haven't really typed on a 4 degree one in a long time, so we'll have to see there. But pretty cool. Pretty cool design overall. Really refreshing how clean this is. I think that's kind of where I'm sold too. Again, I might be a little biased because I like this aesthetic a lot. Oh, I can't really get this bottom gasket out there. Perfect. So then the top frame has magnets. One thing I'm probably not going to suggest is lifting it up from the magnets to flip it over and stuff. And I think this is kind of where you're going to have mileage may vary on what you think of the board. Some people like magnetic boards where you can just like slide off a magnet, open it up, do your thing, take things out. I think, personally, they were going for this whole like modding first without having to disassemble much and not needing a screwdriver. I think they did a good job on that because it does have a pogo pin over here. You guys can see. Let's take this all out. Has our little pogo pin over here, which if you guys, I don't know if you guys can tell, but yeah, you guys can tell. It's not mounted, so you're not going to get a hot spot while typing, which is good. It does even have like little force brake pads, which are a bit of a silicone material, which is also good to see. Plus, this should help shield it when you kind of slam the magnets down too. And then it has a very nicely stylized PCB. This is also going to be a young car PCB, which we do appreciate. I think the only bummer for me, and I'm hoping maybe we can, I mean, I don't know. I would love to see more options for this PCB. Like a step caps lock would have been fantastic. We do get some bottom row options, which is good. I'm happy to see that. But I would have liked step caps lock. I would have liked to also see an ISO variant of this. I think ISO would have been awesome. Considering this is a board designed in Germany, that would have been cool. Ultimately though, and I think I talked about this yesterday, I think my only small gripe with this entire board is I do wish there was a solder PCB. However, I get it. It's supposed to be like a modding first board type thing, so I get it. I guess. I get it. I get why there wouldn't be a solderable PCB. I get it. Is that a thing with young car PCBs? I mean, I don't really wouldn't say it's specific to young car PCBs. And then for those who want to see the board on an angle, let me just put everything back together here. I'm going to leave the foam out for now. The magnet's pretty strong, I will say. And here's the board on a side angle over here. Actually, let me get rid of the manta over here. How is the case held together? Magnets. There's been a few boards that have come out over the years that have done magnet enclosures. I will admit, usually they kind of stink. Or usually they need some refining. This one's done pretty well. If this board succeeds, we can always design diff PCB layouts, and guess what? It should be easy to swap. I would even love to see... Ooh, the LED looks great on that. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on my stream because I have studio lights right now. Will you be able to tell? Not really. Here, let me just show you this. Actually, let me turn off the lights because this is really bright in here. Actually, it does look really cool. Again, my cameras are not set up for this properly. Oh gosh. Here, let me quickly see if I can adjust my camera really quick. I would say this is kind of what I'm looking at right now in real life. Sorry, my camera's going to be choppy because it's like on 10 frames per second right now. But this is that little bit of glow you get with the LED, which is kind of nice. It's dark today. I'm sorry. Here, let me change it back, dude. Let me change it back. All right. Are we back? Yeah, we're back. Is this too bright now? I think this is too bright now. There you go. We're good. We're back to normal. Yeah, it's a nice diffuser. But all right. And I think the only other thing, again, this makes sense for the direction that the team was going for. The only other thing which, from my perspective, could be done a little bit differently here is the standoffs for the plate. This is not a mission critical thing. This is just me being, it's a two-way thing here, right? Because the standoffs work well for people who aren't interested in, I guess, soldering, because for hot swap it does help to have standoffs. But I think truly for a modding first board, the standoffs should be removable. That would be like my only piece of criticism looking at the PCB right now. Removable standoffs, it took how long for us to convince Mode to do it? I feel like that's a common sentiment I usually have with standoffs, though. It is a custom pogo pin, it looks like. I've never seen one like that before. But yeah, and then we have a bunch of different case colors, too, which they were kind enough to send over for this little review showcase thing. Benz, thank you so much for the Prime. Appreciate you. We have a silver. The silver's not bad. I'm a silver guy lately, too, so that looks pretty nice. What other ones do I got here? They sent over a few. The silver does look good. I like the brown more. I think so far I'm sold on the brown color. We have... Ooh, this is nice, too. This is going to be like a dark gray. Let's see this. I don't have a great place to put all these right now. One sec, guys. Put them on the floor here, I guess. That actually looks really good too. I think, weirdly enough, silver's in last place for me. I think this and this are my faves so far. All right, let's see what else do we got. I think we do have the green. Ooh, the green is nice. The magnets are strong enough. Off camera, I did a little bit of testing with the magnets, and that's why I said earlier I probably wouldn't lift it by the top frame and then, oh, the green's hot. Yeah, I think the green wins right now. For me, anyway. This is personal preference, by the way. Personal preference. That is a nice green. And there's one more, I think. I think this is just like a lighter, it's like a purple shade or something. I don't know what to call this color. I gotta go look what this color is exactly called. I think I'm going to use the green or the brown today, just as an FYI. Sounds like a slate, maybe a slate color. This is nice too. Oddly enough, I think silver, which is usually my safe pick, isn't my favorite. So yes, it's the other thing that I learned in the presentation at the Novel Keys meetup from this design team was the Stratum stuff is basically earth. I don't remember all the details about this particular thing, but it's like layers of earth stuff, so it makes sense that they went with earthy colors. Compliment for Chom. Chom, you know what else has layers? My love for you, dude, all right? Chomp, I hope you're having the best day. It's Tuesday. We're almost through it. We're going to get through it together. A Rama U80? Oh, I don't think this looks like a Rama keyboard at all. I think Rama keyboards were more rounded with very thick bezels. I'm going to stick with green though. Yeah, I would personally say like Rama boards definitely lean more towards very rounded colors and shapes. Or not shapes, or not colors rather, but... Alright. 1 second, let me go find where I put the liquor. I put them off to the side. And then these are the other gaskets, so each of them have different shapes. And then they would have different ways they like are squishy and stuff like that, so you should get different feelings out of these gaskets, which we can experiment with later. I wonder if they'll sound different too? That's one thing at the meetup I didn't really get to really experiment too much with. Pretty though, the green's nice. The green is nice. Can you use an can I use a different PCB? That's a great question. I am not positive because it has its own custom pogo pin connector there. So I would assume no, but we're gonna open this up anyways to see underneath, but I don't know what the bottom here looks like either. Like I haven't not opened it to that degree yet. We're doing that all together. I like the plate color too. I mean, I'll tell you this, everything feels very premium on the board. The manufacturing, the coating, like everything looks immaculate. So I'm happy there. I think now it's really just going to be putting this together and see how it feels. Cool. So, what stabs should I use today? I'm thinking night stabs for funsies. Yeah, the green's nice. Gotta say, they killed it with the colors for this board. We went through them, yeah, Mamba. I don't know though. What do you guys think today? Green or brown today? I think green, right? Like, I don't know. I've been really into green these days. Green, right? Damn, green is nice. Oh, and there's also well, this is the aluminum back, which I'm going to start with the aluminum back here. I do think the brass upgrade, which I think is an extra, what, $100 or something? Let me quickly check. Oh, brass is an extra $80. Stainless is an extra 90. Copper is an extra 100. I think the aluminum, which I think this is aluminum, I don't know if these parts will have that much of an effect on sound profile. And I'll explain why when we get there, but I'm going to stick with alu just because I feel like alu makes the most sense financially and it makes the most sense for this board. If my conclusion is right and these don't do a lot for sound, these will be mainly a visual upgrade and maybe like a weight upgrade. But we'll get there. And now I have a bone to pick with the design team. Listen here. We have a bone to pick. Oh no, it's going to play my Apple Music now. 1 sec, guys. I might blast some... There we go. I closed it. Calm down. No, I have a bone to pick. You gave me this really cool polycarbonate wrist rest, okay? Why couldn't I get a polycarb top? The polycarbonate top would have been sick. It's a rest wrist now, okay? I think a polycarb top would have been really cool for this board. I don't know how feasible that would be with the magnets, by the way, just as an FYI. But it would have been super cool to have like this polycarbonate piece you can take a look at. The magnets would be too visible. I think that's fine though. I think that's like part of the appeal of doing something like that, you know? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. What bottom weight? I think this has the brass right now. I think this is brass. The wrist rest is cool. It slides underneath the keyboard. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a wrist rest guy. So, can't pronounce them, and you know, I really don't use them that much, but it is pretty looking. There's no transparent layer of earth. What if there's ice on top? I got you there. What happens when it rains and then it freezes? So technically, if I get a layer and that happens, there would be like a frosty kind of clear You know? The ozone layer? True. Ice is technically a monomineralic rock? Yeah. I hope Gingy's on my side with this one. Alright, let's go get some stabs. Should I do Type Plus? I don't know what I'm going to use today. Maybe I just do night stabs. Nah, you know what? I'll do Type Plus. We'll do a set of these. This is enough here. Oh no, this is not enough. What is this? Here's a weird question for you guys. Is quartz considered like the cheap rock of all the rocks out there? Is it considered that? Oh, I think I'm short one stab here. Am I not? Yeah, hold on. I might need to use a different set. I forgot this is missing a wire. But mayonnaise is an instrument? Huh? You're still not fixing the O-rings from yesterday's build? Oh, yesterday's build, I completely fixed, right after the stream, I had to hop on like a little meeting thing, and I just did it during that. It wasn't actually that bad, fixing that particular board. I still think yesterday's board had to be one of the most ass-backwards designs for mounting a keyboard that I've ever seen. And I think what made matters worse is that's supposed to be like a reiteration or just a second attempt at someone else doing that exact same not modification, but like mounting system. I legitimately think that was one of the worst things. So bad. My big thing is user experience. If you're buying a high-end product, these are all keyboards are high-end products. If you have a bad user experience, you probably won't love your end product as much. I think, personally, there is a fine line that you can teeter that's challenging, but still fun to do. When it becomes too challenging, I think you lose the fun part. Right? So I think yesterday's build, not only was it challenging, but I think like for a premium product, it feels not well thought out. In contrast, today's I think is really fun because it feels well thought out. So good contrast to have, I suppose. But yeah, that was ridiculous yesterday's, guys. Legitimately, I was telling the client, I'm like, I'm gonna painter's tape this, like I'm gonna do my best so when this arrives to you, it won't have the same issues. But oh my freaking god, dude, that was awful. Earth theme and the board's kind of flat. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hold on one sec. One sec. All right, what's up? Just got done lubing some Type Plus stabs. What'd you lube them with? Just some 205? Actually, where's my 205? There it is. Type Plus is good, dude. I like my Type Plus stuff. Flat Earther here. Huh? Ain't no way, guys. Ain't no way. Man, a bunch of people are already getting their mantas in. I'm nervous to see what people are thinking. Update on the 165, by the way. NK hooked me up with a new PCB. I figured as much. That was the one that was, you said a few keys weren't working, right? Dude, I think this green's technically a little bit deeper than like the Vasa green, but this green's like beautiful. I would say this is almost more like a moss kind of green if I had to like pick something for it. But yeah, very, very pretty. More olive? Yeah. Definitely leans a bit more olive, mossy kind of colored. Very earthy. The whole right side of the board had 3 of the 5 dead keys. Was it the diodes? Yuppards? Oh shit. So did they get ripped off in like transit or something? Honestly, that happens sometimes. To this day, I think it's very rare that I've seen a company, and you know what, maybe this is a talking point. I just feel like it's so... The bags that we use for PCBs, most people design them so they're so tight. And then on top of that too, like sometimes what happens is diodes get knocked off from other things in the box or packaging. So it's never a good experience with diodes on PCBs. I mean, they could have just not been there too, hovering, you know? We'll do one at a time here. We might as well start vacuum sealing those things. I think the best packaging I've seen so far is, you know how STR, right? I don't know if that's STR packing it, but on some of Bull's packaging, they do tearaway bags where the top tears away and then you can just slide it out. And then what I like seeing sometimes for the PCBs is I like seeing them kind of packaged in their, like a little piece of foam on both sides. I think those are good. Like it's kind of separated to the point where it's like protected and then you don't have to like potentially destroy the PCB getting it out of the anti-static bag. Why is the bag so tight? Get rid of the Ziploc. Yeah, dude, just do the tearaways are the best for that. I'm with you on that, guys. Am I supposed to worry about my DN board? Which one I'm in? The 7? I mean, dude, that was a pain in the ass yesterday. I think I got honestly kind of lucky assembling that yesterday. I was watching it back and I was like, oh, I'm grateful I managed to do this in like, was it 2 hours? I'm interested in getting an EC kit, but have never built one. What's the best place to learn? About parts? Ooh, shit. What would you guys say is the best learning place for EC stuff? I don't even know. That's a great question. Yeah, I don't know. Buy the kit and figure it out. I mean, yeah, you can watch other people's VODs of things. Does OmniType or Clever have anything on their website about EC stuff for the Dynacap stuff? Yeah, do they have a guide? I can't remember now. Either way, I think maybe Clever would be an excellent jumping off point, sorta. I don't think EC is all that difficult. I think it just seems kind of scary because EC is something you need to tackle all in one go in a way. It's not like switches where you kind of do the switches like beforehand and then you tackle the next piece of your MX board, but I have a question for you. Will you guys be mad if I don't use GMK Olive on today's board? Or do I have to use Olive on today's board? Is it like a crime if I decide to use something different? Just as like a quick thing. Don't need it? Okay. Depends on what else you use. Greg would look great. Thanks, guys. Your crime was yesterday? Oh my god, dude. I'm never gonna... It's just never gonna be lived down. Are the washers that come with the night stabs necessary for anything? Washers. Okay, quick washer rundown for maybe those who need a refresher. So when it comes to stabilizer washers, on hot swap PCBs, I would say typically you don't need to use them. And you're talking about the circle washers, right? You don't really need to use them on hot swap. The only time you would ever really need to use them is when a contact pad from a solder PCB or even just maybe the edge over here of a hot swap socket contacts this area right over here or the metal screw, which is usually the screw. And this is exclusive to clip-ins, or not to clip-ins rather, to screw-ins. I would say just do it for good practice. You don't need to use them on most boards. There are like some designers like Gondo who put little caution symbols to where you'll need to use a washer. But I would say, personally, for good practice, just include the washers on or underneath the screw. Just do it, even if it doesn't need it. Just make sure you do it. It'll even help kind of close the gap if the PCB is not, 100% 1.6 millimeter FR4. But yeah, Wuche boards are an excellent example of when you need to use them on a hot swap. But yeah, I would just say do it anyways. But to explain to you, it's meant to break contact between things. That's all. Do you have a certain camera themed board since you're into photography? No, but I'm looking to make one. Funny enough that you should say that. I do want to make a themed keyboard around maybe some camera stuff that I've been enjoying over the years, but I don't even know where I'm going to start with that. Noob here. I randomly bought a Skylong GK75. Is it any good? I've never used it personally, but I've heard that particular unit mentioned a whole bunch of times. Usually in like pretty decent context. Is it Fujifilm themed? Nah. Listen, I think I'm personally a little over my Fuji cameras. I should take that back. Hold on one second, because I have a feeling, knock on wood, my Fuji camera is going to die now. I've just had really bad experiences with Fuji camera bodies. I'm up to 3 dead camera bodies now. I have only ever had one camera body ever fail me in the past, and that was a Nikon shutter for my D80, I think, in the past. And that was really easy to get fixed and basically cost me like $80. But the Fuji stuff, it's been processor failures, and Fuji quoted me on 2 of them. I haven't checked the new one, but it was almost like $1,800 to get 2 cameras fixed. And at that point, they're like, I just don't care to send them out to fix them. But yeah, anyways, that's my experience. I still think they make excellent cameras to a degree. There are certain things I would use Fuji for over some other cameras. But any modern camera these days works well enough. Hasselblad themed? I don't particularly I'm not in love with Hasselblad. I like using mine. I think it's a great workhorse camera for what I've been using it for. I think I have more of a affection personally to my Leica, but yeah, I would say a Hasselblad theme would be cool for a keyboard. This board has an incredibly innovative side profile and construction, but the reception of this board will be bad amongst a lot of the enthusiast communities. In what ways can we encourage more visually diverse boards amongst enthusiasts deep into the hobby? The amount of glazing of Korean customs and closed-mindedness towards alternative designs seems unhealthy. You know what? It's weird. I think this little area of the hobby, Ugu, might be the opposite. I think you're actually preaching to the wrong side of where we're thinking this is not visually. I actually really like the way this looks, and I think most people here have been pretty receptive to how this looks. I kind of know what you're talking about. I get what you're talking about. I think people, with the risk of sounding a little bit rude, I do think there's kind of cult followings behind the way certain keyboards look. And then those people tend to kind of congregate into one area and then create little clubs, basically. I don't think they're getting through to people sometimes. I think that's a lost cause. The most we can ever do on our end is just encourage people to be open-minded, that things are able to look different, and that's what we're aiming for. We want things to look a little different sometimes. If we had all the keyboards looking the same, it would be one hell of a boring life, huh? But yeah, just open-mindedness. That's it. I think the board looks great, just can't afford it. Yeah, and I think maybe that'll be some people's hang-up is the price point. I think maybe that's going to be it. But, I don't know, I think the board looks fantastic. I actually really like this. I'll tell you what, if you look at Artifact's original design, this looks so good. The original design was a little bit off base, I think. It didn't really hit in the right way, which totally fair, I think. I think this board looks great, just can't afford it. I love the way the board looks for sure. Yeah, I think here on my channel at least, and you know, this side of the community, most people are very, very open-minded. I think, I mean, maybe a great keyboard to kind of show maybe where this side of the hobby can be a bit divisive is the Nama. Because the Nama had a general theme, it just didn't hit the theme, right? And I hate referencing the Nama because I feel like I'm picking on it all the time. But I think that is truly one of the best examples we can give. It had so many like parts to it, but it wasn't cohesive. You know? And I think that's kind of where we can draw the line is like, all right, well, the theme doesn't even make sense. This makes a lot of sense, down to even the colors they chose for the board. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit gimmicky. I missed the stream yesterday. Did you give away anything? I think we gave away 1 or 2 things, yeah. Pretty positive. What does open-minded mean in this case? If you like thin bezels, I think that the best thing to do is understand that being open-minded means you're able to say, I can appreciate this looks, the way this looks. I can appreciate that other people like it, and I don't think it's worthy of saying this looks like shit. I think being open-minded also means you taking your own personal preferences and kind of putting them to the side for a second. And I also think it means looking at maybe more than just single aspects of a board and looking at the general overall, kind of I mentioned before, theme of something, and does it hit that theme? So I think that's what it kind of means to be open-minded. Obviously, though, you're going to have your preferences, and if your preferences are like, you know, the traditional kind of custom keyboard that has been popular for a very, very long time, then I think that's totally fine. I just think that sometimes visuals of a board, even when they're done well, some people will still find a way to kind of be like, well, this is too different from what I'm used to, fuck it. I think a lot of deep hobbyists get to a point where we like different designs. As someone that owns a lot of Korean customs, I'm in a phase now where I'm in love with Studios' whimsy takes. You know, dude, it's weird. Doc, I've heard people say that a lot, of how they get into like the very like Korean custom kind of look, and then they somehow go into Studios. It's such a weird path, but I feel like a lot of people hit that path. So looking at the config of this board, I guess the brown is there. Oh, is my camera going out of focus? Ochre red. I'll go through all the colors again and match it up with the things on the website. But are you black leather jacket open-minded? I have a black leather jacket. I don't exactly know what that saying means, though. Do you feel like an enthusiast hobby had a bit more diverse taste in 2020 era? I feel like there were a lot less of these deep cults around certain designs around that era. Yo, absolutely not, dude. If you were around in 2020, every board basically looked the same. The only boards that I feel like were a little out there were like, gosh, I don't fucking know. I think everything basically looked the same in 2020. And I would also argue that like 2020 keyboards, when it was at like the pinnacle of its kind of traction of popularity, you could literally put out a flat piece of metal with just like regular standard gaskets. It could have sounded like shit, and you could have given it a $350 price tag. You could have called it like, I don't know. You could have called it the most stupid name possible, and would be like, here's my design, and then it would have sold out instantly. There was just, everyone was buying anything, and I feel like there was no regard for how the way people looked at like keyboards in terms of design. And I think there was deeper cults then than there are now. For example, there were some boards that would sell for astronomical pricing compared to now, where I think everything's kind of plateaued to a degree. So, but I do think now we're getting more designers doing more interesting work to the keyboards. Visually, you know? But yeah, I actually think it's the opposite. I think 2020 was more culty. Oddly enough, I also think 2020, and I hate to bring this up again, but 2020 was also a time where there was a lot of flippers and people only looking to make money as like third parties in the hobby as well. So that also made the hobby a bit more like culty in a lot of ways too, because you really had to cling to certain things to get them, because you had, you know, that going on. Because there was more FOMO then? Absolutely. Can we see your leather jacket? I mean, it's in my closet, but I haven't worn it in a long time. You know what I've been wearing? I went to the thrift store, and this is like last year, and I found this old army jacket. It's like a jacket that was given to people who used to do, I guess, aviation, and it was like their training pilot jacket. And it fits so nice and it's so warm. And I got it for like $40, and that's the one I've actually been wearing. But it's not a winter jacket. It's more like, you know, if you wear a leather jacket, you'd probably wear that. Thanks for your feedback on my question. It's very encouraging and interesting to see your observations. Yeah, and you know what's funny too about that? A lot of people will even on a personal level criticize me because I tend to not focus on objectively criticizing like people's preferences and the way they want to design things. Like, I tend to look at only the objective things that make a keyboard work and make them don't work. And people tend to think I'm being a little bit too nice there, but also like people have different preferences when it comes to visuals. The only time I'll ever really review a visual aspect of a keyboard is when it doesn't work towards a theme of the keyboard or it causes issues. I just think, I mean, everyone has different tastes. How can you really criticize that? Like, in an objective manner, unless, again, it doesn't fit a theme or it doesn't work. Everyone has different tastes. I have an MK.65 on the way from a giveaway from Mercia. Ooh, I mean, that was a fun little board. I like the weight on that one there. I like what they did with the typography. Aesthetics are too personal to criticize truly, 100% agreed. Yeah, again, I'll pick on the Nama. The Nama was a little bit different because that visually was all over the place. And you could say objectively it made no sense. But for example, like, there have been boards in which, you know, I don't truly 100% see myself vibing with visually. And I'll mention it and be like, okay, you know, it's not my thing, but it's not something that, like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't like the way this looks, therefore bad keyboard? But then I've also heard people say that their favorite board is something that I don't quite like. So like, how do you criticize that? A designer can have no visual cohesion, but that's a totally different issue. Agreed. Totally different thing. I mean, there's a difference between being like, I don't like the way this looks and this is objectively ugly. The problem is the internet takes it as that. There's no in between. People get upset when I just say, I'm not into this little thing here, but I can understand when people who are, because they want to hear me say objectively, fuck this thing. Like, that's what they want, right? But it's been like that forever. Can you criticize aesthetics compared to the board's price point? You can, but I think that's kind of a different topic. For example, here's a good topic to bring up. If we look back at 2020 keyboards, a lot of them were flat bottoms, very, like, no rounded shapes anywhere, and they were selling for $350. When you kind of look at that from like a machining standpoint and what goes into designing, I guess, the keyboard for machining, you probably get a lower cost for making the board because it's so easy to machine. I don't know if that has anything to do with like price versus aesthetics though, or I guess somewhat maybe more of like an overall design thing, which we have criticized a bunch of times. Like, for example, when a keyboard has more like intricate curves, it tends to be more expensive, or it has different finishings, or if it's using like specialty parts. I think that's a bit of a different, maybe larger conversation to have, but that definitely does play into pricing sometimes. that sort of critique is good. Yeah, which we do all the time. Like, for example, the Thin 60 XT that we recently did had a flat bottom, but lots of intricate curves on the side. So it's one of those things where I feel like they really balance the cost of the board to a degree, but also, you know, like, there's only so much you can do without making things like stupid expensive, and that's a large conversation we had even when I designed with the Manta with Bowl, right? Like, we had to make sacrifices and say, well, we hope people understand why we're making it this price because we're doing this thing that costs so much money to do. But yeah, I think that's a larger conversation, though. Speaking of which, do you know if any other keyboards using G3 curves and CNCing other than the PT750? Not really, to be honest. The PT750 was a gorgeous board, but I'm not exactly sure because I'd have to take a look and like go through everything. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. The PT750, I think that was when Percent Studios... Did they sell or did they just like get amalgamated into QWERTY Keys or whatever? I don't know exactly the story, but I think QWERTY Keys deals with them now, where it owns them or something like that. Percent Studios released it under QWERTY Keys. Are they still doing things like as a separate studio? I don't even know. This keyboard would go so well with Sterling's Pumpkin Spice keycap set. I feel like this particular board needs a low-key keycap set. Personally speaking, I can see a busier keycap set working well, though, for sure. But I almost feel like, I hate to be the boring guy here, Mod Musings keycap sets would actually go visually perfect with this board. Concrete and stone, I really feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I do feel like it. MTNU would go well with this board, too. Hashtag ad? What the fuck? I don't work for Mod Musings or anything. He's just a good guy. PBT. Oh, PTB. I didn't call... Oh my god. You know what? You're too much. I think Stone look amazing. Yeah. I honestly was considering getting Matthew sets for today, but I had a feeling maybe we just take a look at things first. But yeah, like Olive would look good on this. I think Matthew's sets would look really good on this. I just feel like it's the perfect theme for this dude. Dolch would look nice too, Matthew, yeah. Given the aesthetic conversion, what color case, or conversation rather, what color case do you think would go best with Digital Nightmare? I don't have my keyboard with me. What color is Digital Nightmare again? Can you guys link me? I don't remember that set. I'm blanking. Speaking of mode stuff, they announced yesterday on Discord the new 65 hot swap PCBs will have removable standoffs. I know, we were celebrating that yesterday. we were truly celebrating it. By the way, do you guys want me to build this with foam today? I'm thinking we do 2 builds. I'm thinking today no foam, and then I'm thinking we do another build with a different switch maybe later this week. Just a quick rebuild. And then we do with foam. I think we're all on the same page. Perfect then. Mike already built it with foam? Okay, if Mike already built it with foam, let's do no foam. Did you guys like the way Mike sounded? I don't know what microphone Mike has though. I always forget. Speaking of mode, I just had to order a new polycarb top case for my Sonnet because I dropped a chunk of brass on my keyboard. Did it crack? Or did it just like scratch? That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, Hog. Who is Mike? He is the owner of Novel Keys. I dented it. You dented the polycarb? Oh, I thought it would have cracked for sure. Mike sounded pretty good by foam standards, IMO. Oh, I gotta go check it out. What do you use for switches? I feel like I watched the stream, but I just didn't watch it at the same time. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Oh, you're all good. Don't even worry about it. Let's see. Oh, Digital Nightmares is the... I think if you're going to go with one, that slate color. Actually, no. I think if you're going to go with one, go with the gunmetal. The gunmetal. I don't know what exactly it's called. I got to go figure that out now on the artifact build page here. I think that's charcoal black. Go with charcoal black. I think you want those keycaps to kind of almost seamlessly blend a little bit with the case. And then let the accents of the keycaps, you know, like the legends, do the talking there. And make the board a little bit more low-key. Mike has he streams on the Novel Keys channel. I almost had a heart attack yesterday when my camera slipped and the screen hit the corner of my Core Plus. Oh, dude, you want to see something sad? Where's my camera? That's... Luckily you had a screen protector. Okay. Look what happened to my Hasselblad. So, right there, right there, right there, and right here. This was because my clamp thing, my whatever, the thing you put on the, I don't even know what to call it now. The tripod shoe, scratched it. This is because I dropped it a little bit. Like, when I say I dropped it, I kind of did one of these and just let it go. But it was on my concrete cube and I didn't realize there was like a small piece of something on it, so it scratched that. This one here, I'm gonna be honest, dude. This is the one time I brought it outside of my studio, and I had a rope strap and I was carrying it like this, right? So let me just switch cameras. I was carrying it like this, and I have, what did I do to my shirt here? How did I get myself wet? Am I drinking my water? I had like a, what's it called? A satchel on. And the satchel has a metal clamp. And I guess the whole time, the corner of the camera kept dinging the metal clamp. And that's what happened there. And I think that's also what happened here as well. God damn, dude. Thank you, Mod Musings. Appreciate the tier 1s, man. Thank you, dude. But yeah, I'm pretty positive that's what happened. Unfortunate, but also I don't really care. No, that's just the Merc 1. Or I guess the original. The Merc 2 doesn't make sense to upgrade. I don't need the extra focusing power. I take photos of still objects. That's all I do. I don't need to get another $8,000 camera body. Speaking of which, for those who have been maybe eyeing a Hasselblad, I truly do like the camera a lot. It does have a bunch of stuff that I get kind of frustrated with sometimes, but I think it's one of the best studio cameras I've ever had. You can pick up the Mark 1s, if you want to call them that, like just the standard X2Ds. People have been like selling them for literally nothing. Sub count didn't go up? Are you guys sure? Did it not work, guys? Is it broken? I tried a Hasselblad, but for what I do on the street, it just rewound. It didn't work. Oh yeah, okay. It's not working right now. You know what? Hold on. Pause 1 second. I'll do something for you guys. Pause 1 second right here. I don't know why it stopped. Stream Elements is honestly kind of disappointing sometimes. But there's not really a lot of great use, like, things I can use. Maybe I just need to refresh it, but I'm going to also do something for you guys too. Elements, overlays. No, it shows on my end that it's working. It's just not updating on Stream Elements for some reason. Or I guess on the thing here. Let me just quickly see. See? I had to refresh the cache. But because I love you guys, I'm going to bump it up by 20. There. Just because, I don't know. Might as well. New whiteboard? No, I don't have a whiteboard. I don't even know what I'm doing with the stream room for that. I want a whiteboard, but I also like don't think I'd use it as much as I think I would. I think I'm going to use it. All right, let's take this apart now too. Let's take these off for now. Hi Jeb, how you doing? Foundation would look nice on this too. Do a chalkboard instead? No, I find myself just using like my notebooks. I think this is a better way for me to kind of keep track of things. I also learned today that, well, I knew for a while. I tend to like writing things down more. This morning I actually or I guess last night I should say, I wrote down a bunch of things that I needed to do. And then this morning I was very diligent about doing those things. And I usually don't write things down at the end of the day. I usually do it in the morning. I'm going to start doing them at the end of the day now. Makes me a bit more active. Okay, let's unscrew these. Where's my screwdriver set? I know I just had you today because I unscrewed something. Pardon me. There you are. Have I seen the OR 60? I have. It looks really cool. God damn, dude. Thank you, Gork. Appreciate you. All right, let me get the giveaway going here. First, let me find the right bit. All right. Let me get the giveaway going. So this giveaway is going to be... Oh, let me pull up everything for you guys. Boom roasted. Who are we roasting? This is going to be for the Apollo Cyber Armor from Gray Studios. Oh, that is the wrong thing to edit. Giveaways. So I'm going to call it Apollo Cyber. All right. I hope the term isn't blocked. We're good. The board's already packed, so I can't really show you guys. If you guys have already typed an exclamation point ticket, it's going to say failed to do the giveaway. I don't know why it's doing it like that today, but I think Stream Elements might be a little bit busted. I can see you guys entering though, so you guys are all good. Don't worry. But if you type it twice, it's going to give you like an error message. Actually, my headache's starting to go away. That's good. We also will be streaming today at 7 p.m. as well. I'm going to do my best to start at 7 p.m. I actually have a few things I need to get done. I might have to start at 7:30 tonight. So, just as an FYI. But we're still doing the Katina tonight, so... I do like the fact they give you a bunch of foam, though, with the board. Actually, they give you a whole bunch of stuff. I like that. Sometimes some companies they make you spend an extra like 15-20 bucks. I do think maybe where this board could have been in a better position is maybe they offered the foam package separately and shave off a few bucks off the board. Maybe that could have helped in the long run. All right. Can I join on YouTube? Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't work for the giveaway stuff. Basically, the way YouTube wants to do it is I have to make like a separate giveaway, which is a little frustrating. Do you prefer MX Browns and Alu or PC? Oh, man, honestly, I think I prefer them better on polycarbonate. I do think that's a bit of a hot topic, though. I think some people are going to say the opposite. I think with Alu, I tend to not like them. What do you guys think? MX Browns and Alu or PC? Actually, I don't know. Much prefer to see foam as an optional choice since it's dumb rare for me to use it. Yeah, I also have a bin full of foam. I think it makes sense almost to make this as an optional one, like I was saying. I think not having to spend the money on something you don't need makes the most sense. I will admit though, I think if I had to criticize one more thing here, I'm almost not understanding why there's two standoffs here. I feel like this standoff didn't need to be here. I feel like only this standoff needed to be here. I don't know, or I don't even think these will affect the keyboard at all. Just a bit odd that there's two standoffs there. All right. On Kohaku, I couldn't stand them like that and opted for PP plate. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it does depend on the board for that. I don't know. I typically like MX Browns on a softer plate though. But it's also rare that I use MX Browns, you know? PP plate sometimes outshines everything. Dude, sometimes PP plate kind of slaps like incredibly crazy. Apparently there's already some reviews for the Manta. I'm nervous to go check. Once I install the stabs, we'll draw the winner. Not gonna lie, I wish AIO3 would rerun the Vega. Or the, wait, which one's that one there? Do you mean the Vega? The Vega's a cool board. You know what? Speaking of things I wish would rerun, I was going through my keycaps yesterday. I really wish we'd get some more PBT sand and stuff, PBT stone and PBT charcoal. I feel like those were such like good basic sets. Maybe we can convince Novel Keys. Sand and stone mentioned. Oh look, there's Neflock. How you doing? Vega's one of my favorite 65s of all time. Really? Dude, the Vega was, I think when that released, it was a pretty impactful board. This plastic gasket's like too small. Alright, whatever. The screw's not screwing right now, I guess. I'd love to see Aether brought back to GMK, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Man, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if my style aligns with Aether. I am currently looking into doing a little something something for GMK stuff with a certain someone who typed recently. But it's going to be very far off to what Aether was. Plus, I hate to say this too, like, listen, I think I'm a little bit, my experience with Aether has been a little bit, like, sullied, I guess, if that's the right word, from what happened with Glorious. So, I think, like, for me, I just feel like I have weird feelings with it now. I think GMK Manta isn't already a thing, by the way. I think that's an actual keycap set. No, the Minecraft server is not up anymore. I'm thinking about rebooting it as a regular Minecraft server, but Cobbleverse has way too many issues that it caused the whole save file to just like crash. So GMK Manta is a thing. Yeah, I think it's like a blue set, which is kind of funny. What's my go-to stabs? All right, my go-to stabs are Type Plus. However, I would say personally, objectively, the best stabs on the market and easiest to do and build and everything are night stabs. The only reason I will say night stabs are better is because they're less of a pain in the ass to put together. That's it. I think once you get into the vibe of Type Plus, they're fine. But you have to like understand that the pieces go in specific places. Cherry clip-ins replaced. I think those are the best value stabs. I don't think they're objectively the best stab for people who have maybe never modded a stab before, though. I don't think you can go wrong with how cheap Cherry is, though. If you understand how to mod a stabilizer, there's no better stab. But if you don't know, and if you're kind of nervous, I think spending a few extra bucks on Type Plus or night stabs is probably going to make your experience just that much better. The V4 of the night stabs are really louder compared to V2. You know, I haven't had that much of like a volume difference compared to some of the older night stuff. I don't know why that is. I'm surprised they just don't offer other, I guess, materials of their new stabs too. Type Plus clip-ins would be nice. Trust me, I'm waiting for those too. I think I'm just waiting for a good set of clip-ins these days, other than Cherry. Although it's still hard to beat Cherry because Cherry costs like not nothing, but they don't cost as much. I don't know anything about modding. I'm not paying extra for modding stabs as part of the fun for me. Yeah, to each their own. Everyone has different experiences with that kind of stuff. It's the wrong bit. Dude, the maze stabs are really good. I almost always forget about those existing. You're right, those are really good clip-ins. But I tend to always still use Cherry clip-ins, which is funny. I still think Cherry is some of the best. Cherry stabs not coming pre-clipped is insane for me. To me, it's a rite of passage when using Cherry now. I hate saying that because it's like, I understand it's a little bit of an inconvenience, and it to argue with you a little bit. I know it only takes 30 seconds, but I have seen people do it incredibly wrong. I've seen people clip the stabs to the point where there is still plastic, and wow, how? I've showed you guys how. It's pretty easy to clip them incorrectly, and then they still wonder why the stabs aren't sounding good. But yeah. Also, let's draw the winner, yeah? Let's draw the winner for the board. You guys have like 20 seconds to enter. It's for the Apollo Cyber Armor. Alex, you might talk about this, but have you seen any thoughts on the MacBook Neo? I'll talk about that. I honestly think that's Apple's best product in the last like 10 years, if I'm being real with you, dude. Well, I wouldn't say maybe their best product, but maybe one of their best products. Maybe one of their best products. In the last like maybe 5 years, maybe. All right, closing the giveaway now. Winner is Alex. Congratulations, dude. Fellow Alex, congrats, dude. Can you message me? Let's see if Alex is still here. I think I saw him like Alex on Alex communication. Is Alex here? Uh-oh. Did Alex leave? Alex better be here. We'll give him a minute or two. Let me just screw in this last one here. Hasn't chatted in 8 minutes. Waiting. Oh, I feel so bad. The one change doing stabs that made them so easy is a lube syringe. Dude, it's so easy with a lube syringe. I feel bad. Alex is always usually here, but maybe he's pooping. He could be. It's not my bot. I don't have a bot, guys. Jeez. It might have been an emergency poop. It could have been. We'll give him a minute or two. We'll give him a minute or two. He's usually always here, so. When you gotta go, you gotta go. It's true. It's true. All right, let's put this together now, which we already did. Let's get some switches. Why re-roll when they're a real chatter? Because it's still the rules. This is going to look so good together. Do you guys want me to? I don't know. Alex is always here. If you guys don't want to re-roll, then that's fine too. But I'm fine with either. I'm going to give him a minute, like I said, but... What bottom row are we doing? 7U. Alex, wondering what phone you're using? Oh, it's just an Apple. I think just the regular sized. I think I'm done with the Max phones, by the way. No more. No more Max phones. I'm done with that shit. It's too big. Just the regular schmegular one. Also, to comment on the MacBook Neo, such a smart move from Apple. Such a smart move. I also think it's super awesome to see one of their products at a way more affordable entry-level price. And I think it's also really smart because not only is Apple offering people like a good intro into the MacBook space, I've seen some of the performance of the MacBook for like what it is. It's still pretty powerful. Smart move too because they can sell a lot of accessories and like ecosystem stuff. So they can. So it's interesting for that, right? They're going to pull a lot of people into getting Apple AirPods, into getting other Apple stuff, simply because they've offered something that was like half the price of their usual stuff. Such a smart move. And they're probably reusing a lot of those processors from the phones they've gotten back in from like other stuff, you know? Oh, there's Alex. Sorry. It's okay. We waited a minute too. I was literally about to re-roll it. He's back. He's back. Congrats, Alex. Congrats. All right, let me write you down here. Where's my list? I have too many tabs open. You know when you have too many tabs open for the day? Congratulations, congratulations. Alex, can you message me on Twitch? By the way, my rules are typically we wait a minute or so. Why is it letting me copy paste? Oh my god, it's so annoying. There we go. And then we re-roll if no one's here, because then how do they claim the prize type thing, you know? My real issue is the whole application of silicone means good luck. Oh, I mean, I don't know so much about that. Where the fuck's my... There it is. Thoughts on touch typing? I touch type, bro. I touch the keys and it starts to type. It's overrated, bro. Just type the way that's comfortable for you. Pause? What do you mean? Truth be told, I think it's a cool skill to have. I, for some reason, can't comprehend it. I've tried my fucking best. If you're learning how to do it and you're understanding it, even though it's a bit more difficult, then more power to you. I suck at it, dude. I fucking stink at it, so. It is what it is, I suppose. Next giveaway will be at 550, and it's going to be a mystery keycap set plus a bag of 110 granite switches. So that's the next giveaway. And they're all brand new keycap sets, but I'm not going to tell you guys which one. I thought it was just based on how much time you spend on the keyboard. Oh, for touch typing? Oh, I don't know. Dude, I'm the same way, man. I feel like I don't have a lot of motor skills in my pinkies either.
It's already been 21 months back in the hobby.
Thank you, Lost.
Glad to be back, and as always, thanks for the community you've built.
Dude, it's all you guys. You guys are literally what we're doing here, so. To be sure, I think it's fine when we say reroll at 2+ minutes. Yeah, that's I mean, I'm fine with waiting a few minutes for people to come back to the computer, but I don't think waiting for like infinite amount of time is probably the best bet for when we do giveaways. So we'll keep it at like a few minutes. If it's clearly like maybe a bot response where like we do the giveaway like a minute afterwards, then yeah, we wait like a minute or so. I made myself learn touch typing during Corona. It's a pain in the ass, but it can be done. Yeah. Wait, how do I join? We'll do the next giveaway in like a few subs. We just started this giveaway. Don't downplay your role in it. Thank you, dude. I think like 5-minute leeway is fine. Typically I wait like a minute or two. But we have lots of stuff to give away, guys. Actually, there might be one more thing I'm adding to give away, but we'll when we get there, I'll tell you guys. Oh, I don't like the way that one there's going in. Not at all. I spend more time searching for home row than typing. Dude, you know what I found that I cannot do? Clear keycaps. Like, fully transparent keycaps. I find that I get really confused, especially when there's no home row. Like, I noticed on some of like the more gamer boards, there's no giveaway right now, guys. Some of the more gamer boards, they have like no indicators for the home row, and they're all clear. And I get kind of confused of where to put my fingers. You know? Exclamation point claim. I suffer with sweaty, oily fingertips. Yeah, dude, polycarbonate keycaps are tough for me to use sometimes because there's no real texture to them. I think if it's known active regular, a few extra minute extension isn't the end of the world. Well, I also think that it's fine too because there's tons of stuff to give away. I think we're in a good spot. I think it's all right, guys. And if you don't get anything this time, he does things like multiple times a year. I've never personally won, but I appreciate he does them. Thank you, man. Yeah, we do a lot. These have like a nice little scratch to them. Excited to use these. Hot take, I hate when they do more than just aggressively scooped F and J's instead of the ones with the bars. Wait, I hate when they do the more aggressively scooped. Really? Yeah, I actually don't mind it. As long as there's something to like become indicators, I don't mind it. So other people don't win giveaways because Adam wins everything. Adam hasn't won in a hot minute though, so. Did Nuki send you the Wingtree Camilas? I don't think they sent me those particular ones. Unpopular opinion, I don't know, as someone that does tons of paragraphs and dozens of emails in 2 hours, I think touch typing isn't really that much better. Probably just me, but I spend more time thinking of what to type. Well, that's why, like, sometimes when people tell me on the internet and they make fun of me for how I type, I've come up with like a cadence of how I type just to like show people. But dude, I would say like if I'm put on the spot, this is how I would type, right? Like if I'm typing like an article, for example, this is how it works. It's like the space 80 is good. Think. I don't like that. A great keyboard. Think. Like it's just kind of like that, you know? Like that's just my typing. Like I'm not like my brain doesn't work. It doesn't process like that. Unless I know a paragraph, which is very rare. But usually I'm like writing in point form and then thinking things together and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's realistic. Ooh, my lighting looks so good today. What the hell? Typing test speed means literally nothing. Yeah, I'd say it's more of just a novel trick than anything. That's all. Not true. I would like to hear your side of it, Bears. I think, yeah, I'm with Soul. I think it can be half true. I do think it's more novel. We were out and about this morning. Wind chill is negative 21 Celsius. God damn. It is cold. I think it's the wind, right? They're like they were saying it was like 90-kilometer winds. Wait, sorry, I missed the convo. We're talking about our typing speed tests. A good indication of I guess true speed of typing. When we're kind of saying our brain is becoming a limiter in that case, you know what I mean? Scoop for the win. We can't forget about those. Who loves the bars? But together we get Scoop Bar, another goat in the hobby. Mr. Scoop Bar hit over 105,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. Good job, Mr. Oh gosh, Scoop Bar. That was a hiccup and a burp at the same time. Oh, there he is, Mr. Scooped Bar. I like Scoop better for dark keycaps. You know, I kind of agree with you. Dark keycaps do look good with a scoop. But I just like the way the scoop feels. I've been trying to gain weight. Any advice? Oh, man. No, I have no advice to give you. I mean, purely based off of what? Calories? Like, obviously you want to make sure you're eating above your maintenance calories, or you just, you know, whatever you burn for the day. Try to do healthy intake of calories to a certain degree, but also try to like make sure you're consuming enough protein. I would still say try to consistently get your fiber intake correct. If you can, and this is where it becomes maybe, you know, you have to like make sure you're in like a good spot, like try to track what you're eating in a certain way. I feel like writing things down and getting like a proper number of what you're trying to do is always super duper helpful. For example, whether it's losing or gaining, just kind of understanding what your maintenance calories are, and then where you're eating and the macros you're doing are probably a great bet. Right? Like if you're eating a lot of calories and most of it's like, for example, like fat, well, maybe you need to focus on getting some protein too, but it's one of those things where I think, again, you just have to balance. But yeah, I'd say write things down. Get a notebook. There's apps that you can do that are really, really helpful. All right, let's put this back together now. Sorry if I missed a few chats, guys. I want to get around 185. Alex hoodie to best. Oh, thanks, Scooped. 185 for that height is pretty damn healthy, I'd say. I don't really have a good... I wish I had better advice for you, because I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum where I'm trying to maintain my calories. But like the best thing that I did for myself ever was starting to write down what I do. Literally. Okay, so I don't remember which gasket is which here. Let me quickly look this up. I think the orange is the softest, is it? Let me see. Let's see. Orange is hardest? Is the gray the softest then? You know, let's go maybe the middle. So you can actually kind of see. You know what? Let's take a look at this visually. Gray is the softest. Okay. So visually... this is where this is really cool and interesting. Maybe I should take out that little device thing that Mike sent over. Let's take this out. Maybe we actually use this now. So this was at the meetup. I don't know if it was this particular one, but essentially, the way this works, it's a demo thing for like how the gaskets would visually work here. So did you steal it? Yeah. I did. Oh no, this is upside down. Oops. Knocked it out of place. Okay. So, this is actually pretty cool. We can put the switch on, but I probably won't. So take a look at this. So this is the stiffest gasket. Let's zoom in. So you can see kind of how this gasket works. Then you have this, which is much softer. And again, you can kind of see like, and that's way soft. Dude, this is, when I saw this at the meetup, again, I'll give credit to Artifact here. This is such a good representation of how this works. What I like about this too is this is giving us a very simple mounting point. So if you look at the plate again, it's super simple. It's a little like nub or whatever this is, whatever you want to call it. I like the fact that you can just literally think of any old design. And I think really the key, if I remember from the presentation, the key to this design is this little triangle, which is like a stopping point, but I don't even know if you even need that. You can really think of any suspension you want for this and then design it. I mean, hell, if you want something extremely stiff, you can literally just design something with no suspension. But it's actually such a cool little implementation of how they've done gaskets. And it really opens it up to the user to be creative as well. You can design it with the files. Yeah, you can design it with a whole bunch of stuff. And I think to me, like, outside of everything, if we're just looking at this one aspect of the board, it's very fun to see something not particularly new, but also just something where you can feel like involved and get actual discernible differences between things and understand rather than just a durometer of foam or like a hardness of a plastic, right? So very cool. And you can just 3D print your own as well, which is neat. But yeah, I think I like the way this feels on the green, or I guess this, what color is this? Like a cool mint. Oh, camera hates this. So let's put some stuff together here. I don't know if these particular ones are 3D printed. These might be. I think I need an answer here. I think they might be. They are? Okay. But you can make your own with whatever material you want, I guess, too, I suppose. Cool. Can I print those if I have an inkjet? Did you pay your subscription fee? If you did, then maybe. If you didn't pay your subscription fee, I can't help you. So just make sure you pay. Give HP your money. You know what I think is the most like garbage fucking product in the world is printers. And what they've done to printers. So I don't use my printer that much, and I opted to obviously not get those subscriptions. But like I was looking into some of the HP subscription fees. You know, I didn't realize that HP has like a page limit, that you can't use more than a certain amount of pages on some of their subscription fees. I don't know if it's like that anymore, because I looked at this like when I bought my printer, obviously, but ridiculous. Fucking stupid. Like, what? Who's okay with that, you know? So dumb, dude. It's so stupid, so silly, ridiculous. Printers have never had a good phase. I feel like maybe when they came out, they were good. They've always been shit, though. You're right. Printers have always been kind of trash. I'm going to avoid putting any gaskets over here. Let's just see how this feels with nothing over here for now. Again, this is easy to kind of open up and move things around, so Cool. I guess you can also mix match if you really want to. Are there 3 points in the spacebar? Yeah, there are 3 points, which, you know, I'm a little bit like, why? Like, why are there 3 mounting points here? But, you really don't need to put them on because there's nothing interfering, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way this is touching anything, so I don't think you need to even bother with these. But these are very reminiscent, I would say, of like the lattice blocks. Obviously a totally different structure from what Mode had, but definitely reminds me of like the Mode lattice blocks. All right, this is pretty soft. Cool. Good to catch your stream. Hi, Potato. How you doing? So, next up is, let me quickly find my keycaps. And I guess, I don't know what I want to use today. I think olive, right? Andy, thank you. Was it Andy? Thank you. Let me go see if I have olive on a board or not. I think I don't. Oh boy, now to find the box. Olive noir. Is it? That is, I think this is regular olive. Find out what board it is. I thought we were doing modern mats. I can do modern mats too. I'm happy to do either one. Let me go see if I have modern mats. We can do a vote. Modern mats. But which one for modern mats? That is the question. I almost feel like no matter what we pick, you know what? Let's just do stone. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's not do full green. I think a warmer color would be really nice for this. Wheel of Fortune, perchance? Oh gosh. The same Wheel of Fortune that we banned it on? Or the one he lost it? Forgot to tell you that fiance and I are under contract for a condo. Wait, sorry, let me reread that. Forgot to tell you that my fiance and I are under contract for a condo. Oh, so you got a condo. Congratulations. Congrats, dude. Is that what you're, like, you own or are you renting right now? Boneyard does have those yellowish legends. It's like super lightweight. By the way, I'm so sorry. This is a mess. I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alex, my son's birthday is Thursday and he's turning 1. I can't believe he's turning 1. That is, how does that feel, man? Realistically, like how is that making you feel? Super excited, I bet, right? Happy birthday to your son, by the way. Compliment for 6? Hey, 6. It's not your birthday, but it feels like it every day when I get to see you, man. 6, hope you're having a good one. You're as beautiful as the most well-designed keyboard, all right? Do us Boneyard this time, please. It's been a long time. I actually really like the way this looks already. As much as I think Boneyard would look good, how about we use it next time? How about Boneyard goes on the next thing here? Thank you, 6. Appreciate you. I remember before he was here, I was watching your streams, and now I can't watch during my time, but holy moly, it's amazing. He's the reason why I picked up a Sony a7V. Nice camera. What lens are you taking photos with? Yeah, kids will do that, right? They'll make you want to buy a camera to take a bunch of photos with of them. A lot of memories though. Are you printing out your photos? If I could recommend you one thing and be that guy, print them out, dude. Don't just have them digitally. If you can print them, get yourself even a small printer. It makes a huge difference in how you appreciate those pictures. Photos printed? I know, foreign concept, I guess. You're using a Tamron 28-7. Oh, Tamron's nice. Tamron's really come a long way too in terms of cameras. We are going to be printing a whole bunch of photos too. I'm getting back into my photo wanting things physically phase. Ooh, this looks pretty good. Okay. Buy a proper photo printer, not an HP not an HP one, not some stupid Epson one. Buy one that doesn't require a subscription fee. There are small little photo printers you can get. Oh my god, dude. You guys take my words and twist them. You guys know what I mean. And before Alex says I'm mommy is 7, no, I'm done with buying camera parts. The only thing I would ever want is I'm looking to just like, there's like little things, like little side upgrades that truly mean nothing at the end of the day. To like my camera stuff that I may get in the future, but I'm done buying camera parts right now. Over it. They're all too expensive. Way too expensive. Famous last words? Dude, I'm being 100% serious right now, dude. I can't. All the price hikes recently. Even if I wanted to pick up, like, for example, another piece from Leica, they announced more price hikes. Like, it was already like a stretch that I might even be able to afford one in the future. Now it's like getting even further out. Yeah, used, sort of, but people are adjusting their used market prices to the new MSRPs, so... Which I guess sort of makes sense, I guess. Dude, this set was like the best choice for this, by the way. This looks so good. This is hot. What do you guys think? You guys like it so far? Damn, this does look good. Shame I can't do my step caps lock. I'm a bit smudged on that. Where's the P go? This one. No, wait, it does not go there. Jeez. Why did I put all these keycaps everywhere like this? I'd have like that or something like modern and Milky Way Voynich as well. Ooh, that would have been nice too. Yeah, that's an old set, isn't it? Well, older set. Also a very decent choice for this. I don't know. I feel like I'm a little confused on why there's no step caps lock support. That was one of the first things we mentioned as well. Here's the thing. Like so far, if I'm going to give my unfiltered opinion on this. There's very few things into which this board I'm like, yeah, I hate. Like, there's nothing I hate about this board. There are some puzzling aspects that I feel like are just little things in the grand scheme of things that I'm a bit like, why isn't there this? I think the most, problematic thing for me, realistically, is just I really wished there was a bit more layout support. And that could have just come with a solderable PCB. They could have just left the hot swap the way it was and just given me a solder PCB, which I think realistically that requires maybe a different plate and obviously the PCB. That's a very easy thing to implement, thankfully. The board itself, though, I have no problems with. I think it makes a lot of sense. Actually, we still need to open up and swap out the weight. I'll do that afterwards. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot of like major things. If anything, there's no major things right now. But yeah, it's just weird. Like, I feel like they've kind of taken an option away from themselves. And that would be really my only complaint so far. There's other minor things like, would I have liked no standoffs on the hot swap PCB? Of course. But I understand why it's there. Would I have liked... Actually, what else am I looking for here? One sec. Next tab. Would I have liked ISO support? Yeah, I would have liked ISO support. I think it's a bit funny that they don't have it. So there's a few things, none of which are major. I think the only thing, like I said, is where my solder PCB. But again, if we want to speak on something here in the grand scheme of things, again, I keep using that word. Unfortunately, solder PCBs don't sell very well, as we probably all know. I've mentioned this a billion times. So I'm shouting from the void here. I don't know. But I do feel like the price is targeted towards maybe a bit more of the enthusiast. So why not include it, you know? Why not include it? Way too lucky's making fun of me. God damn it. ESDFG. Is it St. Patrick's Day? Today? I thought it was last week or something. Hi Alex in chat, quick question. What is your favorite / best plate material for thock and deep sounding boards? Definitely something like polypropylene or PC, more so polypropylene. And then I also think a large part of deeper sounding keyboards is probably using foam. And it even depends on the style of foam that you use. Solder should be an option for $500 plus cost boards. I am at that price. The higher solder makes more sense. I'm in agreement. I think the solder PCB would have been a great touch to add here. You know, like what, 1 in 5 get solder or something. I can't remember the exact percentage, but a few brands I have talked to who sold 500 plus keyboards have literally reported back to me saying that like 80 to 85% of people get hot swap. So maybe that equates to 1 in 5. And I wonder what that would be now, because that was even a year and a half, 2 years ago with those stats. I'm wondering if it would be higher. Maybe it's like 90% now. But it is from like a standpoint of like, do I offer this SKU? I understand why some people don't do it. It's still a bummer. Oh, that's the wrong profile for end. Still a bit of a bummer. I think you're right. In your case, you build a lot of keyboards, so solder might be more attractive to you. Most people, I think, own 3 to 4. The cost of a solder board might not be worth it, hence hot swap. Yep. That's why I like, again, just so people know, it's not that I'm like making a pass on it or something. It's just I understand from a perspective of where we are. I hate to say it because I feel terrible. We're kind of in this like weird part of the hobby where what we do is considered pretty niche still. Like, not everyone owns a soldering kit, you know? So you have to also be a little understanding of that. And then what else do I need? End? No, I need page down. This one. Yeah, perfect. Solder is attractive to Europe because ISO is usually scrapped. Yeah, I think ISO is more so the thing that I'm like... ISO and step caps lock are the thing I'm bummed out about here. If I had to say like two things I'm like frowning about. And it's weird because I don't even use that. Let's move some stuff off of my desk here because I need to appreciate how this looks. Let's see. You know, guys, I think this is a pretty looking keyboard. Maybe some dust might settle in this like ribbed area over here, but should be easy just to blow out. This particular unit has the brass bottom, so it has a little bit of weight. This does look nice though. How does it look from the side? You know, I'm vibing. This is a very pretty looking keyboard. Yeah, it is. It's one of those vibes where I think they did the simple so well. They do have a wrist rest, I'll show you. They did the simple part of the board so well. So like it's a simple aesthetic, but it's done in an attractive manner where you're able to appreciate the simple aesthetic. Where did I put the wrist rest now? Oh, one sec while I find it. Oh, right here. I think a full cork mat underneath would look really hot for this. I mean, if you guys are into the wrist rest, I'm not. I probably wouldn't use a wrist rest typing on this, but I'll leave it on here just to show you guys. The contrast between the polycarbonate's alright. I almost feel like this would look good. I'm not sure if this option's available for the wrist rest in like the same black as the top. Big step up from the previous project. Huge step up from their previous project. Huge. I like that they also... Okay, this is a small detail that I remember because the board was kind of unique. This like ribbed area was on their old project as well. Again, maybe this will be a bit of a dust magnet. I like how you can kind of see the LED. This was on it, and I kind of like how they also brought it to this new product as well. I really do. So it's kind of like a nod to their previous project. Yeah, I mean, this is the Legends. I know, when you zoom out, the exposure is consistent. It's just harder to see. They're not blanks. Yeah, this does look good. I have to admit, this is a nice looking keyboard like this. I'm very happy with this. All right, well, I guess let's see how this sounds. We'll do what is equivalent to no desk pad first, and then we'll do a desk pad. We're using the aluminum plate, and then we're also using, what are these switches called again? Oh boy. HMX LANIKAIs. So let's see what this sounds like. We're using the medium gaskets to be transparent. We're also using the brass weight, which we're going to swap out. I don't think these weights will do anything, but after I'm done doing the type test here, we'll swap it out. It's low-key kind of quiet. I do not think this is a quiet board. I think the space bars are also making this pretty loud, but I think this is pretty loud. All right, well, the typing angle is actually quite pleasant. It's soft, too. I don't know if you guys can tell. This is the medium gasket. Soft. No foam, by the way. Now let's see what it sounds like with, wait, I don't need my headphone. With the gasket, with the desk pad underneath. So that was no desk pad, essentially. Let's see now. Yeah, you can tell it's a little cleaned up, just because like there was a bit more bass before. Impressed? I do want to swap the spacebar out. I want to go with something a bit more familiar right now, and I'm going to swap it to... Actually, do you guys hear a bit of scratch with these switches? A little bit, right? Not bad, not bad. I want to swap it to a cherry switch just to see something familiar and see what this spacebar can really do. It's like a tiny amount of scratch with these particular switches. The smallest amount. Alright. I mean, dude, this is going to be preference to see what you guys liked. I kind of like both space bars. I think they both hit pretty nice. I do want to just like make sure I properly inserted this later, but I will say no foam, no nothing at all, and not using any of the spacebar mounting points. This is a good sounding board. I think it's pretty well balanced everywhere. Let me just unplug it here so you guys can. Yeah, let's open this up. Let's also put, I'm gonna put one gasket underneath the spacebar, just to see what it realistically does. I'm actually not 100% positive. Ooh. All right. I can already tell though this is gonna make this. It's not, okay, sound-wise, it's not like the biggest detriment to this, but I can tell this feels a bit more stiff and flat now. More of a feeling thing for me. Maybe I have to listen back to hear the comparisons. Ultimately, again, you're not gonna be penalized for not using the spacebar gasket here because of the way these gaskets are implemented, which is nice. So let's just take this off. Now I'm gonna take out the weight. Or I guess the bottom accent. I don't even know if this is considered a weight. This is not like the largest thing in the world. We can try the soft gaskets as well today. Let me quickly grab my screwdriver. Let's take this apart. I think we need to just take these off, right? Yeah. Board's a looker. Yeah, I think they knocked it out of the park with this. Again, I have some... I don't even know. I need to think of the right word. I guess I'm a little bit like smooge about the PCB options. But in its base, like you get some spacebar options, and I mean it's a standard ANSI board, and if that floats your boat, then you don't ever need to worry about it. But oh, hold on a sec. Reserved feelings might be the best way. I agree. Or best term for that. Why isn't this coming out now? You guys heard that? Fuck. My board. Is there a trick to this? Oh, maybe it's this. What's going on? Huh? Did I miss a screw? I don't think I missed a screw. You might not have the screw all the way. I have all 8 out. There's no more inside. It's just kind of like hanging on by dear life. Hunch? Am I missing something? Hold on a second. Huh? Gotta put it in the freezer? No, I mean, I don't know what's going on here. It's like hanging on by the top. I don't know if it's sliding out right, actually. Is it a magnet? I don't know. Is it magnetic? I don't think so. Before I do anything rash, let me look at this. Because there's these two pieces, which I think it's getting caught on whatever these two pieces are. Yeah, I might have to give it a slight little bump here. Oh, I see what's going on. I think it's the way that these feet are positioned. Maybe there's a trick to doing this. So I think what's happening is, I don't know a good way around this other than, yeah, I think the feet maybe are slightly misaligned. Do you install these yourself, Doomsday? These feet slide in like this, and I think they were just sitting on the edge of it and it wasn't going out properly. Oh, sorry, autofocus going crazy. Sorry. Sorry, the feet are its own separate piece. See this? Also, I like that there's a little piece of foam here. So now will this install okay? I gotta put a little pressure. Okay. I see. Okay, I see how that works. Believe it or not, I actually like the silver more on this. Oh, is there two different lengths for screws? There might be. Looks cleaner for sure. Yeah, I like the way this looks. Are the screws magnetic? No. Good point. Can we get some magnetic screws? I don't know if they're necessary here, to be honest with you guys. I think magnetic screws are, they're nice to have in very tricky situations. Maybe not super important here. But all the screws are the same screw head, which is also convenient and nice. I think more where I start to feel like magnetic screws are a must is when magnetic screws are used in, or not used in things like hidden screw designs or hard to reach areas. That's when it becomes frustrating. The real axe wants magnetic screws? Usually I do, yes. We'll see. In this particular case, I don't think they're super necessary. Is it just me or does it sound better? Am I going crazy? I don't know why. I didn't do anything else, did I? Yeah, I can try a milky yellow. Yeah, I had the cork desk pad before too. Let's do this. I love this thing. This has become my new favorite tool. This is the aluminum weight, yeah. Dude, it's so weird. Lately I've been liking aluminum weights. Ooh, okay, I think maybe this whole board with milky yellows might slap. Ooh, I like it better than the cherry. Rare cherry doesn't sound as good as milky yellow. Rare. That was an MX Black we had before, way too lucky. A very good sounding keyboard. Nice. The typing feels awesome on this, I gotta admit. So as a full disclaimer, and I've mentioned this before in case there's people who are like, you've never liked it, what are you talking about? One of my favorite typing angles that I've tried on a board was actually the original mode 80. Had a 5 degree. I don't know if they still have a 5 degree, but it was a 5 degree typing angle and I loved it. This is a 4 degree. It feels pretty similar. Like I'm not going to go ahead and say I can feel a difference. It's comfortable though. This is a comfortable type. Yeah, and let's swap it out to the softest gaskets as well before we finish here today. Let's swap it out. So, okay, let's also think about some stuff here too. On top of the aesthetics of this keyboard, right? I would say one of the things that they advertised on the board was this being a modder-friendly keyboard. Yes, I would say they hit the mark with how easy this is to mod. How do you guys feel about it? From a modding perspective, I think the case personally works very well. I have absolutely zero complaints with it. Sonnet's 5.5. Actually, I thought the Sonnet was 6. You know what? It's been a while. But yeah, I do like a lower typing angle to some degree. Any board is moddable if you... yeah, I guess so, but... Modding perspective, but no PCB options is a bit sad. Yeah, and that's kind of where I feel like some of the theme of the board doesn't make sense. Where we don't have a lot of PCB options. And again, I don't think that's very difficult to implement. I feel like adding a little bit of extra options for the entire board is something that literally can be a thought right now. Like, hey, you know what? Like, adding some stuff is not going to compromise the case at all. If there's demand, we could GB some other layouts. I think on top of that, what would help too, Doomsday, I don't know if you guys are already doing this, potentially do that, and then also, what was I going to say? Oh geez, open up plate files for people as well. But I think the biggest thing would just be like, if you want the easy peasy way of doing this, Doomsday, literally just do a solder PCB. Solder PCB and then offer an open source plate, or even just sell your own plates. But I would say open source the plate for sure. So this is the oh shit, this is, holy shit, this is soft now. I might have to put the spacebar gasket for this one here. I mean, that's cool to see. I do like that. It does impact the sound though. This is a lot lighter in sound now. Well, maybe not a lot, but it is a little bit lighter in sound. Pretty substantial. I don't have any of those Franken switches anymore. I'm Zoto. I don't know if I have the calligraphies anywhere right now, but I'll put back the HMX switch. This is modern materials, yeah. Is there going to be a modern mats round 2? Question mark. Oh boy. Actually, that wasn't that bad. Maybe soft gasket near the spacebar would be okay. Yeah, I'd be curious to try that out. I don't think it's absolutely necessary though. I'm not feeling it bottom out. Ooh, okay, the HMX with the softer gasket does kind of hit. You know, this with a PC plate, with these particular switches, would be an interesting sound profile. I do think the HMX switch definitely, like you guys said, is a slight bit sharper, but I think it's kind of unique in its own sense too. Nice. Nice looking board, gotta say. Well, I mean, that pretty much sums up all my thoughts over the board. I know we kind of just did like a small, does this board hit the theme of moddability, and then some drawbacks. Visually, I think the board is beautiful. It is a good looking keyboard. I think they hit the nail on the head here. That is is very pretty. Sorry, I don't want my camera to go out of focus here. Let me zoom in a bit, actually. Yeah. Very, very pretty here. What's happening here? I don't know what's going on right here, depending on the light. I think maybe, because this was also in slight plastic wrap. I don't know what happened over here, though. Very, very pretty. This is what I really like, too. I like this, like, texture they have over here on the top. Yeah, I like the layer. The layering of this works for the theme of what they're going for too. Like they've layered this kind of like the earth stuff they were going on about, but very, very nice. It feels timeless, but it also feels different. I would say the calligraphy is way more scratchy than the LANIKAI switches. There's a little bit of scratch with these. I wouldn't say it's anything audible. Like you guys didn't hear most of the scratch when I asked, so. A raw version of this would be insane. I do think that would have been nice. Cool. I like it. I am genuinely very happy with this overall. Obviously, I would like to see some of those things I brought up and addressed. Very minor stuff about like a solder PCB, realistically. But is that a game changer? Is that going to make or break this? I don't think so. Nice. Shout out to Doomsday for taking the feedback and bringing it to the team on possibly adding the solder PCB. A team that takes a team that takes community advice is a huge thing, nice thing to see. Yeah. Swap out the top. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's swap out the tops. Fuck, I totally forgot about that. We have other tops. Although I'm gonna be honest, the green's the nicest one. I'll tell you guys right now. Maybe actually, you know what? Maybe the brown will look nice. Let's see. Let's see if the brown will look nice on this. Okay, I still like the green a little bit more. Thoughts? I like the green a little bit more. You like the brown more? The green wins for me. Let's see some other colors. So this is... Actually, this is nice. I don't mind this one. Oddly enough, I think this looks pretty nice. Which color is this? What is this considered? Basalt blue? Basalt blue. That is some interesting contrast, yeah. All right, that's pretty cool. Let's see some other colors here. A Noctua theme board? Oh, it kind of does look like a Noctua theme board. I think this is actually the safest choice for all the colors right now. This is super, super safe. You get a little bit of a tonal difference between the black accent on the front or the back, and then you get a gray piece here. This is nice. And then oddly enough, which is usually my safest choice, is silver. I think the silver looks kind of cheap. Believe it or not. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the silver. You like it, Cheese? Feel free and disagree, by the way, guys. I'm not a big fan of the silver, though. Oddly enough, usually I'm like silver guy. I'm like, yeah, get the silver. It's the safest choice. It looks good. I think it's just because the shape of this keyboard is a bit more boxy, and maybe the silver just kind of looks like meh. You know what? This was nice. I like this color. This is pretty. This looks high-end, like with just this one color swap over here. That looks nice. And then, yeah, you know what? Oddly enough, like, yes, the aluminum weight does make this a smidge lighter. I would say it's the better choice to go over brass. I hate to say it. If there was, and I have to go back and really, really understand if there was, I think this does look a little bit nicer, or feels a little bit nicer and sounds a bit nicer, rather. The brown is actually considered the ochre red, by the way. That brown that we used. This is ochre red, which, I mean, does it really look like the renders? Yeah, I would say it's pretty close. Maybe the render for this is a smidge more saturated in like a red. I prefer this color. Maybe just ochre red's not a good choice for namesake here. This does have a bit more of a brown hue overall. Maybe this is the only color that I'm not really like understand. There's no color grading to this. This is like a standard camera profile. I mean, in person, I'm telling you guys, this looks exactly what I'm seeing on the stream. With this color, I was being... Oh, sorry, Fried. My bad. It looks chocolate brown. It does. Dude, this is nice looking with the gray. I kind of vibe with this. This and green. I think this color and green are my favorite ones. Although the brown probably would look good with this too. Like, you can't hate it. It looks good with this too. The basalt blue up close. It has a blue hue, I would say, ever so slightly. Compared to... Ever so slightly has a bit of a blue in there. Ever so slightly. Alright, well, cool. Do y'all know what ochre is, though? It's basically a rusty residue all the way back to Neolithic times for dye. And often has a slightly brown hue. But I think because it's called ochre red. Like a rusty red kind of thing, you know? Maybe that's where the confusion lies. You see it clearly next to the silver? Oh, yeah, you do. You see a bit of that blue hue next to the silver for sure. All right, well. Artifacts. I don't know if Artifact's still here, but nice. Very, very nice. I gotta say, I think they did an excellent job with everything. Again, I hate to harp on it, but like would still like to see the extra PCB there, but excellent keyboard. I also want to give a shout out to this too. I think this keyboard's different enough to where it will turn some heads in the keyboard hobby a little bit. And what I mean by that, like, it's just not another very kind of basic overall idea. I also want to give shout outs to the idea of using the way the gaskets are done inside. I think that's excellent. Very, very good job there too. Very, very good job. It's kind of, it feels, I love this LED too. I wish I could show you guys this better, but the LED is just so cool on this. I think Neflock took some decent photos of this. It's a very subtle LED. Damn. Oh wait, damn. I just noticed it. Here, let me try to show you guys again. Maybe the side camera here. Ah, maybe not. Hold on, let me adjust the camera again here. It's like this faint glow. I'm sure, is this addressable, Doomsday? Can I make this? Oh, you said fully customizable. Let me see. Let me load this up into VIA really quick, guys. We'll just keep the lights off. Mike did send me a VIA file somewhere. JSON file, because I'm guessing this is not fully loaded up in VIA yet. Stratum. Load the JSON. Connect. Lighting. Is this 100%? It is. Okay, so we can change the lighting here. Let's do it to a solid color. Let's make the color maybe a bit of a warmer color. Oh, I feel like now it's not as bright. All right, is it changing color? All right, I don't think this is fully, let me see. Can I just try to breathing? Will it do anything? Okay, I will say right now, for whatever reason, Mike had it working. It's not working for me. Let me just unplug and replug. For whatever reason, it's not letting me do much here. I might have to talk to Mike. Maybe talk to Yonkar as well. Oh, here we go. All right, now we're working. I don't know what the hell happened there. Now we're working. So let's go with like an orangey color. It's hard to show you guys on stream, I apologize. I feel like this looks way better in pictures and actually in person. The Auto's dark vibe. Oh gosh, I don't want to blow your guys' eyes out here.
Just wanted to show some love and support. Keep doing what you do and thanks for the streams as always.
Thank you, man. I hope you enjoyed the... What'd you get, a sweater or a shirt? Enjoy the merch, dude. Thank you, Lost. Alright. Fun, fun, fun. This would benefit from a brighter back piece or a brighter LED. I'm kind of on the opposite side here. Actually, no. I think you're right. I think if it did have a slightly brighter LED, but I also think like this brightness on max is what I'd probably want for the board. But if you did have slightly brighter, you can tweak it to your desired brightness level. But I do think whatever it is right now, again, lights not on right now, I do think is like the perfect vibe. For me anyways. But you're right. Maybe a little bit brighter. Alex dark mode one day? Maybe. I can't see anything with those no lights on. Alright. Let's actually show you guys from this angle as well. That's what it looks like behind. Pretty cool. Oh, the light guide might also be flipped. How do I unflip it? Do I just take it out? I don't want to break anything. You just pull it out like normal? So nice.
Dark stream for channel points.
Thank you, Zeal. Yeah, that's flipped. Oh shit, okay. Need a good way to yoink this out right now. Where's my spudgers? I had a bunch of spudgers yesterday. Where'd I put them all? Oh boy. It's kind of yoinked in there. Yeah, maybe the PCB in the way is not helping. Hold on. If it's shoved in, it might be hard. Yeah, it might be shoved in. Okay, well, I'll figure that out after stream. I don't want to break anything before I have a chance to rebuild this one more time. So I feel like that might be a thing for next stream, or maybe some talking with Doomsday to find a good way to yoink this out. But it's okay. Dude, the logo light unfortunately broke a long time ago. I got tired of having to resolder things down, but yeah, it broke. All right, though, guys. Break on camera for drama and PR. Oh gosh. Okay, so we're gonna be back at 7 p.m. ish, maybe like 7:30 actually. I might need a few minutes in between both of these streams. Sounds good, Doomsday. This is still a proto, right? So we can still somehow get the stepped caps in the final build. I feel like Doomsday would have to be the person confirming that. It would be really cool to see that in the final build. Just have a stepped caps along with the plate file being stepped caps capable. I think if that was the case, like if we had the stepped caps at the very minimum for options, that might be like a huge thumbs up for a lot of people, by the way, Doomsday. But excellent project. I actually really do like this. This turned out, I hate saying this because it's not like I didn't expect much. But it is a very solid product, I feel. I really like the aesthetics of this and just everything. Talk to the team about the layout situation. Sounds good, Doomsday. But I will talk to you guys soon. Let's actually plug this in and sign off with this. Thanks for the EU-friendly stream. Anytime. I don't know who's on for rating right now. Oh, Yuri is. Let's go raid Yuri. I think I'm going to probably get some lunch right now, and then I'm going to run a few errands, and we'll be back tonight. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope the stream was fun for everybody, and informative at the very least. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.